10:37 in the morning, and we're going to see how much difference those little sunshades make on the side of the house. So let's measure the temperature right here. If you can't read that, that's 80, I'm sorry, it's 90.6 right on the frame of the window right there. And if I could read on the glass, glass reads 85.4. Let me get the countertop right here. And the countertop is reading 81 degrees. And all temperature 71.4. Okay. And this frame here is 80 degrees as well. Okay, let's go measure outside. Alright, so we're getting 90.5 on the metal frame of the window, and then the outside wood frame is 95.5. But right down here, we're getting 104. There's some heat. 105, 104, 105. 93, and the wall down here 100, 101, yeah, 100.5. Okay, and then here's the little roll-up shades that we have. We're going to drop those, give it a few minutes, and see what kind of difference we can get in the temperature. Shades down, and it's 10:47. So it took a couple minutes for me to, get the ladder and set it up and drop the shades. Well, here's the first readings on the inside. So we're at in the same spot. See, we're already getting 75, 74, and pretty much 75 degrees on that spot. And then right here on this frame, we're at 71. Right here on the countertop, we're at 70, 71, 71.1, 72. Right here on this part of the wall, we're at 62, 74, 72 on the glass. 75 on the glass. Okay, and that's just after a few minutes. Let's check outside. Okay, let's put this behind me so I can get in here. Alright, now here's the aluminum here. It's at 75. And the wood frame there that we were reading over 100 has already dropped to 85. And the metal there is 75. And the wall has already dropped to 87, 84. So the temperatures are dropping remarkably quickly. To the center wall that we checked on the inside, 75. Okay, so it looks like these shades do make a difference. I'm going to drop the rest of these that are up top, and I'll come back and summarize the numbers for you guys and annotate it so you can see the drop in differences. And it's just after a few minutes. Alright, thanks. Hey guys, here's your results. Alright, so what we have are the temperature readings inside the house and the temperature readings outside the house. And then these are before I drop the shades, the initial readings, and then after I drop the shades, the after readings. This shows the absolute temperature difference, and this shows the difference expressed as a percentage. Okay, so overall the numbers show that we had a significant decrease in temperature both inside and outside the house. So let's take a look at the specifics. The center of the horizontal frame of the window was 90.6 degrees before I dropped the shades, and then after I dropped the shades it was 75 degrees. That's a 15.6 degree drop. Just a little bit of information. If you didn't notice, the clock that I show on the wall right there at the beginning of both sequences shows the time. It also shows the ambient temperature inside the house. So if you want to double check me, go back and look, but it reads 75.2 degrees ambient air temperature inside the house at 10:37 when I did the initial readings. And then I'm going to just tell you that my own sense is that the outside temperature ambient air was probably about the same. Maybe it was 76 degrees, maybe. But pretty much we had the windows open all night long, so the inside temperature was pretty much what the outside temperature was. Okay, got that. And again, there were 10 minutes difference between the initial readings and when I started. When I started taking the after readings for inside the house, and then I did outside the house. Okay, so one other note is that these windows are a composite material. They're by Anderson, and they're made of some kind of wood plus plastic something or another. But they're supposed to have the same thermal characteristics as regular wood windows, at least they claim. So if you have some other type of window frames, if you have aluminum frames in particular, you're going to see even more significant results. Or if you have vinyl window frames, you might see some other type of results. Your mileage may vary. So just use these as a general guideline. Let's see. So the center of that horizontal frame was 90.6 before, 75 after, 15.6 degree drop. It's a 17% decrease in temperature. Just to give you guys an illustration, just to have to think about what 17% is, in case some of you are thinking that's not very much. I don't know about you, but I'll take 17% better gas mileage on my vehicle any day of the week. So I'm thinking 17.2% cooler house is dramatic and wonderful. The granite countertop itself goes down along an interior wall, but that entire granite slab there runs right in front of all those windows, and with the sun shining on it, plus the conduction from the wall itself, that granite can actually get pretty warm. And as you see here, at 10:30 in the morning, it's got a surface temperature high reading of 81 degrees. After we dropped the shades, it cooled 10 degrees to 71 degrees in, keep in mind, 10 minutes. All of these pre and post readings are about 10 minutes or a little bit more apart. So that's a very rapid drop in temperature. Again, ambient air temperature about 75 degrees. But you see how much the sun is heating up the structure of this house. The double pane glass windows themselves, 85.4 before and 75 after. There's another 10 degree drop. I will tell you, I've measured the glass on the outside of the house. Actually on the front side, a couple of years ago, the windows on the front side of the house were not allowed to put these kind of shades on because they face the street and the association doesn't allow them, which is a bit of a bone I have to pick. We'll gnaw on that a little bit later today. But I measured the glass windows on the outside, on the front side of the house, one summer afternoon, probably in the height of the heat of summer, and I read over 130 degrees on the glass itself. So the glass itself can get really hot. And this is the inside reading. I did not, unfortunately, do an outside reading that morning. I just forgot, and I apologize, but we do have the rest of the readings here that will still illuminate and inform us. The drywall between the windows was a drop of 9.4 degrees, 71 before, 62 after. This one reading of 62 degrees on the wall, I'm really not sure what to make of it, because the ambient air temperature at 75, the wall should have been around 75 degrees. So I don't know if that was an error in the reading or not, but since the number was pretty comparable in terms of the difference, I left it in. It's an outlier, don't know what to make of it. I'm going to just kind of, in my head, throw it out. I'm going to say that it was a glitch in my reading of the thermometer. Wood center frame, Okay, so that's the vertical section of the window frame. Before that was 80, after it was 71, so that's a 9 degrees drop, an 11% savings. All right, so here we're going to move down here to the outside readings. The metal frame of the window, so that's the casing around the window, that's 90.5 to start and 75 after. It's a 15.5 degree drop. The wood frame itself on the horizontal center portion, there was a high temperature reading of 106.7 degrees. That is stinking hot, especially for this time of the year. That really surprised me. I was not expecting to get up close to over 105 degrees. I was a little surprised by these readings on the wall, on the stucco there, over 101. Again, because, ambient air temperature is 75 degrees. I was thinking we'd hit 90s, but, surprised me. Look at how incredibly hot certain parts of your house can get with just the sunshine. Let alone what happens when you get deeper into the summer and the ambient air temperature really is starting off at 80, 85 degrees first thing in the morning, which it does here where I live. I don't know about where you live, but it does sometimes here start off that hot. Okay, so our highlight here is our 26.4 degree drop on the wall there between the windows from before I dropped the shades until about 10 minutes after the shades had been dropped. That's a significant decrease in temperature, and it's caused purely by just getting some shade on the surface of the house there. Okay, so it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, if you're talking about averaging these temperatures out over your entire house, we've got a 20 degree drop on the outside of the house on average, so averaging all these together and averaging these together on the inside of the house, we've got almost an 11 degree drop in internal temperatures, and that's just at 10:30 in the morning. So as the sun gets up, when's the hottest part of the day, people? Hottest part of the day is around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, so if left unchecked, these temperatures would have continued to rocket and we'd have been just sweating inside our own house. So we probably would have had to turn on the air conditioner, which is not a good thing. What I can tell you is that using these window shades alone, some days we don't certainly turn on the air conditioner. We also have a whole house fan. If you know what that is, it's a really large fan that you install in the ceiling on the second floor, and then it sucks the hot air of the house and dumps it up into the attic space under the roof. And so we have one of those, and we use that especially this time of year because it will suck in that nice cool air from the outside, helps keep the inside of the house nice and cool. We'll use that evenings and in the late morning hours when the house is starting to heat up like this, and we don't have to run our air conditioner. Personally, as I mentioned earlier, I think that we ought to be allowed to put these kind of shades, as long as they're, let's say, aesthetically consistent with the architecture of the house and aesthetically rather pleasing. I think we ought to be allowed to put them anywhere on the house we need them, even on the front side of the house that face the streets. And my thinking is right now, the homeowners association rules are written, for the sake of beauty, instead of energy and cost efficiency and, conserving the resources of our environment, so that, I'm kind of forced to spend money conditioning parts of my house that I wouldn't have to if I could use the shades. It's ridiculous. But, this is just my opinion. You might think otherwise. You might think that these things are ugly. I'm throwing up a couple of slides of shades on the outside of other people's houses so you can see them, just to give you some comparison to others besides mine that you've seen in the video. So anyway, I will probably take a visit up to my homeowners association at some point with these numbers and pitch my opinion and see if it makes a difference. I know sometimes, you can't fight City Hall, but if somebody doesn't try, nothing will change. So anyway, if you agree with me and you think that might be a good thing, that associations encourage homeowners to use shades, and I think that shades have an advantage over awnings. There's a lot of reasons for that, but not the least of which is an awning only really gives shade to the part of the awning that's covered, directly under the rays of the sun. Obviously, this shade covers the whole entire square footage that the shade covers, because it's a parallel plane to the wall itself and the windows itself. Okay guys, that's it for the video today. Thanks for tuning in with Science with SkiDoc21. I hope you're having a grand day and make it a great week.